everyone, this is Kris from Craft Closet. Today I'm going to be exposing the Aura Dashboard buttons. Alright, so when you first get on your computer and you go to Glowforge, you will come to this section right here. And this is not the section you want, so you're going to have to change it. And the easiest way to change it is to go into app.glowforge.com. Now that we're on the Glowforge dashboard, let's look at it. There's these buttons up at the top, like if you push create, it'll bring you to this page. You can push shop, community, learn. There's all different things. You can play around with this on your own time. These aren't the buttons we're going to discuss today. The buttons that we want to talk about today are the ones here on the side. There's different ones. Create a new design. And this, you can create a blank design, upload a file, or trace a design. Next is the home button, which will bring you back to this page. Below that is my designs, and this will take you to where you keep all of your designs, your SVGs that you've used in the past. But right now, let's create a new design. So I'm going to go to upload a file, which will take me to my computer files, and I'm going to pick a file to demonstrate. I think this dog picture frame is really fun. It's a file from Michael Horton. He has it for sale on his Etsy shop. So we're going to choose this one as a demonstration. So I'm going to upload it, and it'll come on my Glowforge Aura Dashboard. Okay, so here is the file. The first button is the select button. This will let you select your file and move it wherever you want on the dashboard. The next one, the hand button, it will move your dashboard itself around on the screen. And then next to that, you have the undo and the redo button. If you make some changes that you don't like, you can push undo. Next, we come to the plus button, and this is the import artwork button. If you have premium, you can use any of these graphics, but if you don't, you can still use the upload button. And I know we already have a file on our screen right now, but let's say we want to print two files at once. We'd push upload and then pick another file and upload it. Okay, now that our other files here, we can just move them around however we want using our select button. You can also highlight these and make them smaller so that they'll both fit on the screen. You can basically move them however you'd like. So now that we have a file on the dashboard, let's talk about the other buttons. These ones up here, they are for Glowforge Premium. I'll talk about those a little later in the video. But for now, let's talk about the three dots. If you push the three dots, you'll see that there's a list of things you can do. Refresh the bed image, set focus, design details. Let's click on that. If you push design details, it will show you off to the side any details that come with the SVG or the file that you've uploaded. This one has no instructions. You can also export designs, look at past prints if you have premium. There's keyboard shortcuts, and you can just look through those. And then also preferences where you just can set up how you want to see things on your dashboard. All right, so when you come over here, if you push this button, it'll take you back to the main page, so you don't want that. So the next button is the unknown material button. This will show up if you push on it. You can put in the type of material you want to search for. You can push uncertified materials, or you can choose from the drop-down of Glowforge proof grade materials. You could also just pick a Glowforge proof grade material that is similar to the one you're using and change the settings to whatever the manufacturer of the material tells you to cut it at, or whatever you've decided is the best cut or engrave settings for that material. I like using the proof grade settings for different material because if you're going to do something like engrave, it already has engrave settings that work on that type of material. And then again, you just change things to the cut settings or engrave settings that you know work. Okay, so let's click on these three dots. There's a whole list of things here. You can refresh the bed image. If you click on that, it will, of course, refresh your bed image. The next one down is set focus. Set focus is really important. You should always set focus before you begin a cut or an engrave. It helps everything go better, even if you're using proof grade material. So let's push set focus just to show you how it works. You get this little square, little red square, and you just click on the material somewhere and it will automatically set the focus height for the material that you have in there. This is important for getting good cuts and also nice engraves. You may need to adjust your file once you've set focus. The next button only appears if one of the files is highlighted. If you look down at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that there's a little ruler icon, and if you click on that, you get the position of where your file is on the dashboard. It'll also tell you the width and the height of your file. This is where, if you want to change your file once it's on the dashboard, you can type in whatever you want here, and it will automatically change the width and the height. Now, if you unclick this little button here, then you can do it independently. So if I were to put 6 in here and change it, it would still keep the height at the same dimension. Then you can push the undo button if you don't like what you've done. This other little button up here is the align button, and it'll help you, like if you have things unaligned and you want them aligned, you can highlight both of them and just play around with these, clicking the different buttons to see what they will do. Okay, some other shortcut buttons that you can use. Let's highlight these and then right click on our mouse and you can copy and paste if you want more items on there. If you paste it as a step, it'll show up on the left-hand side as another step that you put in different settings for. If you just plain copy it, it will show up with the same settings as the one that's already on there. The next button is group and ungroup. So if you want to push ungroup and then click off somewhere, you'll notice that this is now ungrouped and you can take things off of the design and move them to other places. And remember, if you don't like what you've done, you can always push the undo button. Now, if you want to group things together, you would highlight everything that you want grouped and push the group button. Now you'll see that they're all one piece. To show you how the premium functions work, I'm going to sign into my other account. This one I have the premium on. So let's just pick a file. I'm going to pick this one. It's a free file if you have premium. And we're going to talk about the premium features that are available on the dashboard. So there's a button called Reset Design, and you can use that button anytime to take the design back to where it started from. Let's talk about the buttons on the right-hand side. The first one you come to is Create Outline. So if you have a file and you want to create an outline around it, you can push this button. It takes a minute to create the outline, but once you get the outline, then you can play around and adjust it however large or small you want it. Let's put this one at 0 so that it cuts right around the shape. When you're cutting more than one design, try to position them right next to each other on the material so that you don't waste material. And also, instead of putting it in the middle of the material, put it on the edge or right next to something that you've already cut out. The next button is Flip Vertical, and obviously this just flips your design vertical. This is good if you need to rearrange how it's going to be cut on your material. The next button is Flip Horizontal. This is great if you're going to mirroring something and need it to show up mirrored on your material. Let's type in some text to show you how that works. I'm going to type in peacock. You'll notice with the text, you can change the different typeface and the weight and the size. I'm going to use something frilly like a peacock. Oh, this works great. And then play around and see what size you think would be best. Now I'm going to put this right on my peacock. First, I'm going to align these. Remember, we learned how to do that. Then I'm going to move my word right over to my peacock. I need to make this a little bigger so that it shows up. All right, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to get all of this centered. And then if I want to mirror this image or reflect it, then I just highlight everything, all the pieces, and I will push the Flip Horizontal button. Now this piece would be ready if you wanted to engrave on the back of a mirror. and have it show through the right direction. The next button is the pattern line button. You can play around with that one and see what it does. Next is the puzzle maker button. This is a fun button if you want to turn your engrave or design into a puzzle. It's really simple to use, and you just put how many rows, how many columns, how big you want the pieces, and whether or not you want to keep your artwork, and then you push create puzzle, and then it just creates a puzzle for you that you can cut out after you engrave. If we continue down, the next button is the stamp maker button. In here you would put in the thickness of your stamp material, and you need to decide if you want to keep your original artwork and if you want an edge around it. You don't need to keep the original artwork if you're just making a stamp. When it comes to making a stamp, all of the red that you see here will engrave and the white will not engrave. The white part will become the stamp that stamps on to whatever you're stamping. With the premium account, I can show you the magic canvas. This has just different magical images that you can use the images here or make your own. Let's just use one of these. And then there's different ways to adjust your image. I'm going to make this smaller. I want to add some sharpness just for the darkness of the engrave. Okay. So this is ready to engrave, and on this again the red part is going to engrave and the white part isn't. So make sure that works for your material. Okay, the next button with premium is the add shape button. There's different shapes you can add. Let's start with a star, and then you can go in and decide how many different points you want it to have. Let's just put 10. You can do sharpness, rounded corners. Let's make some rounded corners here. One more button we didn't talk about yet is the export design button. Now, if you have a design on the dashboard that you want to export, you can push that button and save it on your computer. However, it will not let you save any designs from the catalog, even if you have premium. It will only let you save the ones that you create. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, join our Glowforge Aura group on Facebook.